Folie et Deux receives the CinemaScore. Joker, Folie et Deux, the eagerly awaited follow-up to Todd Phillips' 2019 Joker, has debuted to a startling and unsatisfactory start at the box office, in sharp contrast to the triumph of its predecessor. The movie's domestic opening of only $37.8 million has caused it to perform considerably below expectations, and Hollywood has been shocked by its lackluster showing. The film's release has been characterized as a box office bomb, even though it stars Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga and is a part of the profitable Joker franchise. The unsettling response has spurred debates on why the film didn't live up to the hype and what it means for the changing face of Hollywood, especially in relation to comic book adaptations. Disclaimer: no copyright infringement intended. All the photos and videos belong to its rightful owners. Credits listed in the description below. 2019 saw the global release of Todd Phillips' Joker, which defied expectations with its unvarnished, gritty depiction of the beginnings of one of the most recognizable villains in comic book history. On a meager $55 million budget, the movie made over $1 billion in worldwide box office revenue after earning $96.2 million in its North American premiere weekend. Joaquin Phoenix emerged as a prominent Oscar contender when the film won Best Actor, earning a critical acclaim. Joker, Folie et Deux, the film's sequel, opened to a meager $37.8 million domestically, far less than the $50 to $60 million that was anticipated. Nevertheless, it was unable to replicate the same enchantment. The film's difficulties are exacerbated by its high production cost, which is reportedly over $190 million, about 3 times that of the first picture. There was some consolation when the film's global opening took in $121.1 million, including $81.1 million from international markets. However, this global total is still insignificant in light of the first movie's success. Most importantly, whether or not the film can recover its high production costs will depend on how well it does in important areas like China and Japan, where it has not yet opened. Even so, the domestic box office results continue to be a concerning sign of the movie's future direction. The audience's reaction to Folie et Deux, which seems to be considerably worse than the box office figures imply, was one of the most worrying indicators for the film. With a D CinemaScore, the movie became the first comic book movie ever to be given a low grade in Hollywood history. According to the industry standard CinemaScore, which assigns a letter grade based on viewer reaction, even poorly received superhero movies usually do rather well, but Folie et Deux was a complete failure. In contrast, The Marvels, which debuted to a comparatively modest $46.2 million last year, received the same B grade as The Flash, which was likewise regarded as a box office letdown. The movie received a dismal rating of just half a star out of 5 from viewers, according to post-rank exit polls. This rating is comparable to Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, which debuted the previous weekend to a terrible $4 million. The unorthodox blending of the musical and comic book genres in Folie et Deux, a genre-busting attempt that might have alienated the crowd who went to watch the initial film, is probably the cause of the significant audience backlash. Joker, Folie et Deux was viewed as a daring risk from the beginning by Warner Brothers and director Todd Phillips. The film departs from the formula that made the first Joker a smash, taking considerable artistic license. While Joker was a somber, realistic character study that drew analogies to early Martin Scorsese movies like The King of Comedy and Taxi Driver, its sequel tries to include music into the story, with a large portion of the movie being made up of fantastical musical pieces. The plot centers on Arthur Fleck Joaquin Phoenix in Arkham Asylum, where he encounters Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn-inspired figure. The way they connect is partly through musical performances, which is a very different idea from the conventional framework of a comic book movie. It's been publicly recognized by Phillips that Folie et Deux is not the sequel that many might anticipate. He praised Warner Brothers for taking such a bold swing and defended the artistic decisions made in the movie during its Los Angeles premiere. But in the end, these artistic gambles might have added to the film's inability to connect with viewers. Some critics have complimented the picture for its artistic merits, citing its performances and visual flair in particular, although the narrative has been panned for being shallow and plotting. The Hollywood Reporter's David Rooney expressed the complaints of numerous spectators who thought the film's ponderous pacing hindered the 2.25 hours of running length, calling it narratively a little thin and at times dull. This is despite the film's lackluster opening weekend at the box office. For their parts, both performers have already received a great deal of praise, and Phillips has proven that even with unusual films, she can create a buzz that gets awards recognized. Its experimental style and fragmented story. Joker, Folie, a Deux score on Rotten Tomatoes is 33%, a significant drop from its predecessor's 68%. The book movie industry is evolving. Despite the fact that superhero movies have dominated the box office for the previous 20 years, audience fatigue has been increasing recently. This trend was accelerated by the pandemic, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania underperformed. The underwhelming premiere also makes Warner Bros. Face the difficulties of experimenting creatively with well-known properties. While Folie Deux is a cautionary tale about the perils of deviating too far from audience expectations, Todd Phillips deserves praise for stretching the boundaries of what a comic book picture may be. Given the negative feedback from reviewers and the general public, the movie might find it difficult to keep up its momentum in the upcoming days and weeks. That's it for our celebrity news for today. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more hot topics like this. See you on the next one.